Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is a passionate, holistic, assisted healer, no other than Mr. Omar Garcia.
Greetings,
Welcome,
greetings.
welcome to Book 101, Mr. Omar. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
Yes, my pleasure. First of all, naturally, I'd like to say thank you so much for this opportunity. It's a wonderful thing that you guys are doing. I don't see many people doing things about books, and I could go on for days about books and about the open window that it creates in humans' lives. That we're able to open the window and to look out and see the possibilities. So, my name is Omar Garcia. Excuse me. And I'm located in northern New Jersey. I'm originally from New York, the tri state area, from Brooklyn, in fact. So this is a Brooklyn accent, by the way. And me and my wife, we got the calling one day from wherever, source or higher power or whatever name or box you want to put in. And the message was telling us to help people and to serve. And in doing that process, we had to help ourselves first, right? Because it's like when you're in the airport, in the airplane, right? And there's the emergency. They always say put the oxygen on on yourself first. Excuse me. So that's what we did. We started that long trek uphill to get out of some of the holes that we were in, and there was a different number of different ways we did that in order to get out of it, and now we help people full time. And so that's my name. That's where I live. That's what we're doing. The name of our organization is the Omziel Healing Sanctuary. So Omziel is the main part of it, right? And my name is Omar, and my wife's name is Aziel. So we've seemed to
Oh,
have put the two words together, and now it's Om Ziel. And then it has different connotations, Daniel, about Om is like, the proverbial vibration of God. And El means God, and there's different things there within the name. So it's a quite sacred thing that we do. It's no dogma. We 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 meet people where they're at. We don't tell them to, you got to be this or say this or none of that. So
so
that's who I am,
Mr.
and that's what we're doing.
Yes, Mr. Omar, thank you so much for sharing your talents to the world.
Mm.
Thank you, thank you. So, what is holistic healing and how does it differ from traditional medical approaches?
Of course, of course. So I'm just like everybody else. I want to live a peaceful life, and I don't want to harm nobody, and I want to be able to thrive in this life. But unfortunately, we happen to live in a toxic society. We just do. That's why people who live in rural villages, the centurions, and they live 100 years or more, is because of the water, the air, the food, and things of that nature. But in these cities that we live in, the water, the food, the fabrics, the furniture, the the Wi-Fi, like everything is just really, really not good for us. So we need to start getting back to ancient traditional medicines, and it's often labeled as holistic healing, right? It differs from the way where the pharmaceutical industry is the one who's working in together with doctors, for lack of a better name, sort of like they're the drug dealers, right? The pharmaceutical is the one who has the supply, and then the doctors are the ones that are pushing the drugs onto people. So you take one medicine, it messes up your leg, and then you take another medicine for your leg, and it messes up your arm, and things like that. So people are tired of that, and I know I am. So we started going toward holistic healing. And what does that entail? It entails um, herbs that you would drink, like in a tea, that would be good for different organs in your body, for your heart, for your throat, for your intestines, for your gallbladder, your liver. All of these organs are super, super sensitive. We just don't have no idea that it is. We just walk around and we can't see our insides. But if we did, we would see there's some things that are going on there. So some of these holistic um, practices also include like Reiki, which happens to do with energy healing. As you already know, Daniel, everything around us is energy. Everything is moving and vibrating at a certain frequency, different frequencies, right? So we need only to tap into those vibrational frequencies and make adjustments. And that's where something like Reiki would come in.
So, how does holistic healing view the connection between mind, body, and spirit?
That's a great question. So, anytime you do feel something, there's a number of things that go on, right? First of all, you feel it in your body, right? Whether your stomach is upset or starts turning or you feel the tension or something, that's a physical sensation. Then there's the mental aspect of it too, where things are thoughts. That's all that's happening. We get attached to thoughts. See, we cling on to them. And then we start spending time making little movies in our head, right? And then we start hearing that voice. You know the one. We call it the roommate. It's the one that lives inside of your head that is telling you, "Man, I can't believe that that guy told me that," and things like that. So there's the mind, the body, and then the spiritual aspect. We're just not physical beings walk around here. We're energy. And what is that energy? It's a spiritual aspect to it that lives within inside of us. It's super, super powerful. And that's one of the reasons why people are turning more to holistic healing, because they're receiving ancient knowledge. This is nothing new. It's old things. Mhm.
So, what are the core principles of holistic healing practices?
Some of the holistic healing principles, we like to call them as like a guideline. And some of the ones that we use, there's people who use different ones, but here at OMZL, there's God comes first. That's the number one. Whatever you see as God, it doesn't matter. Whatever name you put to it, whatever image you like, whether it's a statue, a picture, or just something that's in your imagination, that is fine. But that should come first in your life. You should make, first of all, recognize that there is a higher power. You have to recognize. Then the other thing is that you have to say, hey, there's something bigger outside of me that is there for me and that's available to help me. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing is yourself. Like, what is your purpose here on this planet? Right? We all have a purpose. We're not here not to just do nothing. I don't believe that. See, we're here to do like you, Daniel, like a podcast, so that way you can share tons of information and help people. Wow, you couldn't believe what you're doing. Like you can never even speak to all the people who are listening to your program, right? So there's that aspect of it too, And then once there's that, then your body is a vehicle that we're in, and you it's really a temple. In fact, the sides of your head where your eyes are located, what is it called? It's called the temple, because they named it aptly just for that, to let you know that this here where you're in is a vehicle, it's a temple, and you are the god of your own temple. And you're the guardian of whatever comes in. That's why books are just amazing. Our minds are like gardens, you see, and we have to put in the right seeds, and we have to remove all the weeds, because they're putting in weeds into our heads, and we voluntarily put weeds in our head also.
Very well said, Mr. Omar. Very well said.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
what is the correlation of the four agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz to holistic
Oh,
healing?
thank you so much. I was excited and looking forward for you to mention that. So the Four Agreements is written by a gentleman named Don Miguel Ruiz, and his story is quite fascinating. he came from not very rich, very modest means, but along the way, he educated himself. But as we all do, we're taking in lots of vices. So he started picking up the wrong foods and going to the wrong locations. He picked up smoking, cigarettes, and things of that nature, and drinking. So one day he got very ill. I mean, very, very ill. And the doctor said, listen, if you don't make a change, you're not going to be around here very long. So he devised a plan. He is from Mexico, which is in South America. And in Mexico, there's some ancient people in his lineage, his ancestors. They're called the Toltecs. The Toltecs, they were scientists, they were artists, right? They're the ones who are responsible for helping to create the Mayan calendar, the Aztec calendar, but it was a very simple one, so they were able to, according to some accounts, that they were able to see the processions of the stars and create this calendar. But they also went by some agreements. They made agreements with themselves and with life. And the first one is keep your words impeccable, right? Why? Because words hurt and words are powerful. Think of someone like Hitler. He probably never killed anybody in his life, but just with his words alone, he sent people to do things and they did it just by talking. You see? So that's the first agreement that's there among the four of them. The second one is don't take anything personal, right? Sometimes when you see someone, you would think like, hey, that guy likes me, or oh my, that girl, she hates me, but how would you know? You don't really know. You're just taking these things personal, and we tend to cling on to these things, right? It's so practical, these first two, you know. The third one is don't assume anything. So like when you do see someone at your job or a place of employment or something, you would probably say something like, man, the boss, he hates my guts, but you don't really know that. You're just assuming. What if you remind him of someone when he was growing up that bothered him, you see? Or you would say, wow, that person really loves me and adores me. How do you know? They just be doing things for themselves and their own benefit, so let's not assume anything. And then the fourth agreement is do your best, right? Now, this one tops it off right there. He says that if you're making a sandwich or if you're mopping the floor, you should do the best sandwich that you can, or mopping the floor, or whatever it is that you do in your task in your life. Do your best. Why? Because that removes self-doubt and self-criticism, thinking like, oh, I didn't do so good, but you did your best. So here comes somebody saying, hey, we didn't like what you did, but that's what you didn't like. I did my best. I know I did my best. You might not like it, but it's the best that for me, I did it. It's the best. So those are the four agreements, and there's a quite correlation to my life as well in some of the toxic things that I was doing and putting into my body. um, and then I started looking for this ancient knowledge, and this is one of many books that they had gifted me, and now I just go around gifting it to other people. It's powerful. Mhm.
So, how does holistic healing address the root causes of illness rather than just symptoms?
Well, usually in the pharmaceutical industry, I mean, most of the times, they just give you like a band-aid that is just like a topical ointment. No matter what they're doing, they always, do something that stops the pain. They don't go to the root cause. And this is where holistic healing comes in, is where we go into the root cause and find out what is ailing you and what is the reason why. You'd be surprised, Daniel. Oftentimes it's something that comes from our childhood, something that someone did to us, some sort of trauma that was pushed upon us when we were innocent, and we walk around with all this guilt and shame. So all of those things are just energy, and energy gets stored into the body. There's another wonderful book too, that the body keeps the score. That's another great one too, where it's the energy that gets locked into our bodies. So this is where holistic healing comes in. We go to the root cause of things.
What are some common holistic healing methods, such as acupuncture, Reiki, or herbal medicine?
I love to tell you about some of the plant medicines too, right? Because these are
Yes.
herbal remedies that help people. We're big on sea moss, Irish sea moss. If anyone knows what that is, it's a seaweed, and it's usually grown in the pristine waters, like off the coast of Jamaica or some place like that. It grows over here, like where I'm at, by Florida, but there's too much oil and boats running by. But in the pristine waters that are there, the sea moss grows, and it's great for your gut, right? We need a good gut health. It's a superfood. You make it into a gel, you reconstitute it with water. And what it does is it heals your gut and it keeps your gut healthy. Why is that important? Whenever you walk into a room, what happens? Where do you feel it? You feel it in your gut. I shouldn't be here. I don't like this place. Or you feel it inside your gut. You go, wow, I really love the energy here. Something like that. Or think about when somebody tells you something, they go, man, I hate that guy's guts. Why do they say that? They could say, I hate his arm, but they know the importance of guts, that, right? We share a
Yes.
symbiotic relationship with our gut. So there's that. There's also other things that are taking place now, which are becoming more popular, such as like cannabis. Right? We don't work with that medicine, but I did want to say that there are tremendous studies um, that are coming out now that it's great for people that are really ill with different illnesses, especially ones that deprive them of hunger. The cannabis brings that back. So I know people use it as recreational, but it's really a medicine. And then the mushrooms are taking off also, the psilocybin. This is another one also. It's great for depression. It's great for PTSD. It's great for end of life, situations, things like that. But there's different
Yes.
types of, tonics for your liver, for your bladder. There's another thing called combo, which is which is the excretion of a frog that comes from the Amazon. You put it on your skin, you make a little indentation, and it's a purgative. So you drink a lot of water, and then they put it on your skin, and then you get to purge. It's not an illegal substance, by the way. It's not. No, we work with that one too. You know, so there's many things.
Yes. So, Mr. Omar, how does meditation contribute to holistic healing?
This is great. So now, first, I'd like to say that we do two major things that work together in that sense. We work with the cold plunge, right? It's in conjunction with breath work, and then we submerge people in a tub with a lot of water and a lot of ice. And there's tons of benefits that are in the internet. You can look it up, but it's really a meditative state that you get into. Now, speaking about meditation, meditation is one of the few things, including like fasting too, that helps to grow the healthy growth hormones. And these healthy growth hormones are the ones that help us to keep us grounded, and we're able to heal ourselves. We have the power to do that in our minds. But how would we do that, Daniel? By staying silent. So whoever made us, and these messages that we get from this higher power, they're not in the words of the books, they're in the silence. When we stay silent and start paying attention to your breath in meditation, that's where we grow in a deeper way, and we're able to find out things that we never knew were there. It's beautiful.
So, yes, beautiful people. So, Mr. Omar, what will be your advice for those people out there want to try holistic healing?
I would say, do your research. That's what we always tell people. We tell people, don't believe me. Do your own research. Find out. Look. Some people, they go to the doctor just because he has a white coat and he says, hop on one leg or bark like a dog, and they're quick to do it. Why? You don't have to do the surgery. You don't have to, take those medications. You don't have to. No. Do your research, look into it, and try it. As long as it's not life threatening. And that's a great point too. Did you know that there's hundreds of people die from medications that doctors give them. I mean, the number is astronomical. I think it's somewhere like in the thousands or more. I mean, prescriptions that doctors write to you and give. So I would say give it a try. Find something, go easy, start, do something. Yeah,
Try and try until you succeed, people.
that's right.
So,
That's
Mr.
right.
Omar, what would be your short-term and long-term goals as holistic healer?
The short term goal is to help to heal the planet one soul at a time. That is our short term goal, right? Because we see ourselves more like a paintbrush in the master's hand, and we just want to be used as a vessel in that way. Whatever it is, universe, creator, God, whatever you call it. So that's our short term goal. But our long term goal, we're growing as an organization. We have many members. They've been following us for years now, and we have different events. In fact, we're having one this Saturday in Union City in New Jersey. It's starting at 11 a.m. It's at a location called the Green Space Studio. And it has to do with live music, local artists, vendors, alkaline food, open mic. We're doing the ice plunge with breath work and all sorts of things. So the long term vision is really to have different locations located throughout the world.
So, Mr. Omar, to sum up our discussion, what are some challenges people face in accessing or adopting holistic healing practices?
I would say that some of the challenges that people face is really getting out of the mindset because everything is in your mind, everything around you, even the microphone that we're speaking on. Someone thought about it first and then they created it. So if you could get the mind right, that's one of the first challenges. Be open, open up your yourself, your ideas. You might think like, hey, well, my grandmother did it and my grandmother did it before, but maybe they were wrong. You might want to rethink those things. They just might be. And besides, that was a different time. The water was different, the air was different, everything. So these are some of the challenges, that people should come to some agreement with themselves, right? Like the four agreements. Make an agreement for yourself too. Let's make one
Yeah.
or two. Write them down. There's the power of words. That's where books right, come in. People wrote down these ideas. It's a writing system. That's why they go spell. It's an incantation. Spelling, you're creating a spell. Write down. I'm going to be open. I'm going to be more open to holistic healing. I'm going to go to that location up the block and I'm going to book myself an appointment with so and so. Something like that. Yeah. And stick to it. Put it on a calendar. Write it on a calendar so you could see it, not in your phone, because out of sight, out of mind. Put it up, so you can see it.
Yes. Mr. Omar Garcia, thank you so much for your healing approach and for thank you for sharing to the world. So, Mr. Omar, can you
Thank you.
please invite our listeners to support your holistic healing?
Of course, you can find us at OMZL Healing Sanctuary.com. There you'll see the main page, you'll see the events, the special things that we do and stuff like that. You can find us on Instagram at OMZL Healing. We have the YouTube channel, which is OMZL Sanctuary. We're on Facebook also. Our name is quite unique. So you just look it up, Google us, you'll find us. Trust. OMZIEL.
Yes,
That's
people,
it.
let's support Mr. Omar Garcia. Let's support healing practices or holistic healing practices. Try it. And if this is the one you're looking for, go, go, go for it. So, Mr. Omar, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Peace and blessings, family. Thank you.
More to come, people. See you soon. Thank you, Mr. Omar. If you want to watch our live episodes, I'm gonna